You get all this. You can
bro,
whatever.
like, can you? So guys has been watching, wearing the same watch like the whole time. Like, bro, take out. Like, we see it.
Bro, it's nice.
It don't even match with your fit.
The thing is, like, I feel like it's sentimental to me because my friend made it. What you mean? It's sentimental because my friend made it from me. His name is Madison, and he makes watches. It's crazy, coolest hobby. But like, he made the watch.
Okay, bro, we can't be giving out free clout like now.
What you mean?
Gonna be reaching out to Madison.
Good. I want to see his business grow. You're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater. But Madison, if you're watching this, that's why I made the watch. It doesn't gotta match the fit. I could be wearing red, and I would still wear it. The red and green kind of match.
I need to do like Madison. When we get back in the city, I need a nice light blue one.
Did you see how he just dissed you? Hold on, no, Madison. He said on big thing. He was like, "Don't promote this thing." Don't worry, bro.
Say don't promote.
What'd you say?
I just said, bro, like, are we really just giving free? Like,
why not? See,
okay,
Madison,
right.
Don't get him that light blue.
No,
forget about that. I didn't even tell me about that for a few days now.
Why are you hating, bro?
Don't worry about it, bro.
I'm just trying to say, like,
like, give it up, man.
All right, which brings us to today's culture. Sorry, guys, I've been a little sick recently.
Okay.
It's getting towards Valentine's Day, and so I'm not trying to go on any dates.
Why? Wouldn't that be counterintuitive? Like,
no, because like I'm getting sick, so no, like I'm trying to get sick.
Okay.
It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long finals has really just had my brain everywhere.
Fried.
Yeah, finals were like a month ago.
But now we back. And we back on the podcast for what? Episode 3. Welcome back.
Bro, it's been episode 3. This is episode 5.
See, I used to be thinking like episode 3 with me. That's why it's like it's my third episode. So I used to think episode 3, but it's like
all about him.
It's like episode 5 or 6. But our editors will put it in the little title for you guys to know.
He made a mistake. Like that is that Twitter thing about like the audience tell you what the truth is. Like he made a mistake. We're really on episode 5.
Listen, it's episode. You know what episode it is, but I think
they do because they've been following.
Okay, they've been following.
So today we're gonna be talking about. I guess we can start it off.
Really welcome to the some inspirational experience. He found it. He's so eager.
God,
and that's why for me,
talking to them.
I know, and it's like that's why for me he's always been my little brother. But it's like he's so eager. You know, when you have a younger brother, they're so ready, and it's just like calm down. I just have to pipe down, like it's okay, right? I give him a little treat, and like it's good, bro.
See, I'm really glad like they see everything that happened here.
Yeah.
You'll see the last 2 episodes. You'll be like, what's going on? So I'm really acting like this because I just have to like show little bro what the world looks like. Like show them like it's beautiful out here.
Right,
you can be yourself, bro. You can be passionate.
Wait,
be passionate.
But it's like, are we talking about little bro in terms of age? Because like I'm your elder, and I think you should respect.
Who said elder? Are we the same age right now?
We're not the same age.
How old are you?
21.
No, you're not.
I'm 21, bro. I'm literally 21.
Oh, sorry, I got something. I got.
Oh shoot.
See, it's all on you.
See, now he making stuff up. Now I'm like, you good?
I hope so. Hey, it's you gonna blow it?
I got you.
I got you on the podcast too.
I got on the big pod. Ready? This is my parents.
Go quick.
Gotta open. All right.
It's kind of gone.
I know. I told you my parents should do that to me. Like it works.
It might still be there.
No, it's not that it's still there. Now it's just your eye irritating. Don't worry.
Okay.
You good?
Sorry, guys. Not them catching me.
We're really showing. No. Don't worry. We're really showing that familial love. Like if y'all ever need, get the people you close to do that for you.
I'm crying, guys. Do I look good?
You look all right, bro. I got you. You look all right, man. You good. You good, man. You good, man.
All right, guys.
Don't clear up.
Sorry, I was like tearing up and everything.
You good.
Really, I'm tearing up because it's Valentine's Day. I might be alone.
Wow. That's the real whole time. That's the real reason. Like,
no, I hope I'm not. Well, I mean,
all you caught was a tear in your eye. That's the real.
So let's really start from what today's episode is about to be about, and it's going to touch on a few things. The main thing is really culture, and it's been something I've been thinking about since last summer. I think my internship really taught me a lot about what it means to build a winning culture. But I think even then, we have an internal culture between the two of us, and it's something that we've been trying to promote to people around us. Mm-hmm. Even on our podcast right now, our experience, we have a culture here. We have a way we kind of do things. You guys can like follow along. You guys are meant to join along. Like it's meant to be an experience. And I think I've just been thinking a lot about culture and what it means to have like my own family culture, which brings us kind of to like relationships, And I think my parents, I mean, they might see this and say, hey, nah. I think they gave me the green light to,
Okay.
get married.
Okay.
Because my dad's been telling me what it means to have like a partner
Yes.
and what kind of person you have to look for. And something that we talked about recently, like love isn't what I say. Love is enough, but y'all didn't work. Love is enough, but y'all didn't love enough.
I got you. Love is enough if y'all loved each other enough. I got you.
And so, not to say, people, if you're watching this, you're divorced. I'm not trying to come.
Yeah, it's not a thing of being patronizing or anything. Like, things happen, and oftentimes divorce is not because you didn't love each other enough. I mean, I'm not speaking from experience, but I feel like sometimes it comes from situations, right?
Yeah.
But we're just saying in the sense that, like, love is enough if you love each other enough. And I don't know what you were alluding to, but you can keep going with that.
But yeah, I was just trying to say, like, where was I, man?
Relationships,
like love and everything like that.
Marriage.
So marriage is supposed to be like a collaboration between the two of you, where you agree. And the thing is, like, I read on this thing. I'm saying read now.
You sure it wasn't a real?
It was a real because it was real. And so what, guys? The bars.
Come on, man.
So it was a reel, and it talked about how it's not enough to, like, you cannot win every argument in a relationship. Because if you come at it from that angle, you're always going to want to fight because you want to win. As humans, we're inclined to win. But it should be more about like a collaboration. How are you two going to work together? Love shouldn't be ever like a compromise. It should be a collaborate, because when you're compromising, someone's losing. And so it should be, how do we collaborate to get to the best solution possible for the both of us?
Wait, I feel like that's interesting that you said that. When you compromise, someone's losing. So do you feel like compromise, or what do you think the point of that word is then?
I think
oftentimes people talk about compromise. We need a compromise.
But it's like, if we need a compromise, that means that we've gotten to the point where we're unhappy, and we just need something that we both might be happy with. But it's like we're both not still satisfied with the end result, but we just have to come to a decision, because like there are external factors at play, or different components that we may have not already talked about, that will influence sort of the decision. But a true collaboration is, how do we work together where I can appreciate the best sides that you're bringing in, and you can appreciate my best sides that I'm bringing in. I will come to a solution that we're both happy with. That's not a compromise.
That seems like
that's a win.
That's a win.
That's success.
It is success. I think that takes humility, because when I think about that, it's like, you're obviously with a partner going to have things you don't agree on. But I think, and I was thinking, we were talking about this earlier, it's like, when you care about someone, you care about their needs. And it's like, to you, making them happy is what matters. I think we even talked about something on the first episode, where it's like, when you're all in with someone, these concepts will keep coming back, guys. Like, we're creating a concept library where it's things you can keep going back to. Absolutely, right? And everything's a circle, connector. So it's like everything, right? But it's like, I think it's important to understand that when you're in that partnership with someone, what should make you happy is catering to their needs. This is where the collaboration piece. I think a lot of times, especially in this individualistic era, it's about, what do I need? What's going to help me right now? What's going to make me happy? But it's like, a true collaboration is, I will be happy because you're happy. I will be happy because your needs are met. My needs will be met. Almost in a sense, one of my needs being met is you seeing your needs met, if that makes sense. And I feel like when we start getting to that angle, the difference between compromise is like, I want to be happy, but I feel like with compromise, your happiness is always first, and you're putting the other person's happiness there second, and you're just going with that for that situation, right? Whereas I feel like collaboration, you make sure that your happiness can be first, but a lot of times their happiness is first, but your happiness is contingent on their happiness, and vice versa. It's a constant back and forth.
And if you find the right sort of person, then they almost want to see you win the same way that you're helping them win. And now that's where true collaboration happens, because you're both winning, because you're both winning. You know what I mean? Because you're happy, and I'm happy because you're happy, and you're happy because you're happy, and you see me happy.
It's a feedback loop, positive feedback loop. Yeah,
positive feedback loop, and that's really what you want your relationship to look like. And there are going to be times where you struggle. Not everything's going to be perfect, but that's what true collaboration is. Working together to ensure that it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're both all in, and you both want to ensure that the other person's happy. And so I think that's what I wanted to start off with, because I think like looking for a partner, and we can go on and on about like looking for partners, and potential partners that we've seen and things like that. But I think it's just like, for me, it's been more about like, how do I find someone that just augments the best parts of me, and it helps me see my flaws, but also helps me come to terms with them in a way where I can work on improving those areas of myself, right? And I think for all the men that are watching this, and women too, and all else, like I think it's just like it's fine. I think I think um, I think it's all about love.
Oh, it's definitely all about love, and I think it's like loving everyone. But I think it's understanding that collaboration. When you put that at the forefront, and like you were saying with finding a partner, like if collaboration is your MO and what you're prioritizing, you will find that person who, and you're also prioritizing finding someone else who cares about and prioritizes collaboration. I think you'll find a relationship where your needs are being met and you're trying to meet someone else's needs. Yes. And I think that really flows into creating a culture, I think.
Okay, see, because I was about to say, guys, like, I apologize for that pause, because I feel like sometimes we talk.
Yeah.
When we talk, it's a lot more natural. We can just switch on to the next topic.
For sure, yeah.
For you guys, since you're also here with us, like, it almost feels like we have to make the transition clear.
Yes.
And so I felt like I was just going around in circles. So I was like, well, thank you. So it ties into creating a culture, because it's like, what sort of culture do you want with your partner?
Exactly. And I think that's what it is. Like, we often talk about a winning culture, a work culture, the culture here at school, the culture at this campus, right?
Ethnicity
culture, which honestly ties into where you're from, like ties into all these things. But I think culture starts at the most basic levels of relationship. I think a culture within a friendship, what's a culture within a partnership, a relationship, a romantic one, a marriage, right?
Yeah.
It's not the theme, but it's more so what is this relationship based on? What do we want to create here? Is it a culture of, and I think it should really start out of a culture of collaboration, because there's two parties here, right? And there can be multiple parties. But with a relationship, there's two parties, and I think it's coming to that agreement of understanding that we want to create something here that's bigger than us, right? Bigger than ourselves as individuals. And that ties into, on a macro level, starting to create bigger cultures, winning cultures. Teams have cultures, and I think we're going to get into that. But yeah, it starts off with that fundamental relationship culture.
Fundamental relationship. And I think that's something that you're going to see with a lot of startups nowadays, where, like, when you're hiring for engineers, or I say startups because it's mostly tech, but something I see so often is people are scared to get it wrong. And they're scared to get it wrong because those early stage people are the people who define the culture for the rest of the team. Because any new person who comes in will see, hey, there's already someone here. What are their values? What is the mission that we're trying to build? And I think on this podcast, like, one of our culture values is collaboration. But I think the other side is to inspiration. And I think the last part is just like Ubuntu. And so, do you want to explain Ubuntu, or should I?
See, you caught me on a good part. I can't lie, like, I didn't even expect you to say that for real.
Bro, and see, sometimes we don't have to say it, but we just know that's what the culture within this podcast is.
And I think Ubuntu, like, that's a term that really means a lot to me, right? It means I am because we are, and it's a Zulu proverb. Zulu is a South African peoples, and they're also in Zimbabwe, in Southern Africa, right? There are people, and that's a language, right? Zulu is also a language, and it means I am because we are, or togetherness, right? And I think that term really encompasses our podcast. I mean, some inspirational experience. I feel like we want you guys to be just as part of the experience as we are, and be so integrated. And I think the only reason we can be is because you guys are, 100%. Right? And I think that's what Ubuntu really means. And for me, like, it ran so deep. I think I had to create something with it. And so I did. I decided I'm going to make a basketball tournament. And we made a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. We were able to create something that was beautiful, with Ubuntu on our chest, and something that really, we brought panelists, we brought people to speak about what it means. It was a 3-on-3 tournament for Black young men and boys in our community in Winnipeg, and just to make them feel inspired by people in and around them, and how their endeavors in basketball can push them in other areas of life. That was the synopsis, right? But Ubuntu was so strong, and I feel like I had to tie it to that, because community, it really connects with community, and it's knowing that I cannot be if the people around me are not being as well, right? And it takes a village to raise a child. All these concepts are talking about togetherness and collaboration. They all tie back in. So I think when you say collaboration, inspiration,
about community,
Ubuntu, it's all these concept ties together. And I think the fact that you said Ubuntu, I can shed a tear right now. So
of course,
I can shed a tear right now.
And that's what this podcast is really about, like oneness and creating for each other. And I think the reason I was so ingrained with culture too was because this summer I was a senior jumpster orientation leader. And so that meant that I was training the OLs, orientation leaders, that would be given a tour of the campus for the students. And so Jumpstart UBC, it was a week before, but now it's 3 days. But it's still like you're still getting the same experience pretty much. But within those 3 days, you have a learning community that you get to like be a part of, where you learn more about what it takes to succeed as a student at UBC. You also get other experiences like seeing what campus life is like, living on campus a little bit earlier. You're making friends, you're talking to people. Everyone on campus at that point is pretty much first year. So anyone you talk to is going to be new. So you get that experience of just making friends almost like simultaneously with living and learning on the land you're in. And I think like just being almost like the leader for those who are leading meant that I got to define what kind of culture was set. And I didn't really realize that at first, but I started seeing it a little bit more later on with the differences with my leaders compared to other people's leaders. And so one example is my leaders. Like I came in very hot energy, high energy. I was like, let's do this. I was tossing candy for everyone with like answer questions and things like that. And so I almost like Pavlov them into thinking like we need energy to gain energy and things like that. And I think I was really compassionate with them. But just like that energy, I remember so it was during the second day, I believe, and I said, hey guys, it'd be super funny if we created a chat to stay in the lunchroom. And then I was like, but we shouldn't, haha. And then they're like, no, let's do it. And I think seeing them kind of like come together with it too, when we finally did the chat, and I was getting nervous, but just seeing how excited they were for me and how they're like, we really want to do this. And then I started it, and they were like, it was, oh my days. I was like, hey Jumpstart, are you excited? Excited for what? Excited for fun. And then Jumpstart, UVC, Jumpstart, UVC. And just seeing like I got the other OLs and whatnot involved too, but the loudest like chant really came from that middle where we were. And so I was just, from that moment on, I think I was enamored by my leaders. And I said, wow, like I felt like they were me and I was them. And that's that culture aspect where later on in the week, like just different things, like they brought up volleyball, they were playing, and seeing them where like I was kind of leaving, I was telling the other like seniors, I was like, I'm nervous, like my kids, it's 5 p.m. It's time. I call them my kids because I really like so much love for them that I really say like that. But like my leaders, it's 5 p.m. and they're not going. Like I'm telling them, you guys can go, like we're done. And they're still hanging around. I'm nervous. Like, do they think like they can't leave? Is it me? And then they're like, wow, like look at this guy. My lobster's too buttery. My steak is too juicy. Like
Legit.
His kids like him, and he's talking about, is it, But I think that was generally just a thing where they really liked the environment that we were able to create together. And I think that's what it was, because we created that together. It wasn't me just saying, this is what we're going to do.
This wasn't here for you
guys.
Look
around us, right?
Look around us. And I feel like we keep mentioning that, but that's such a real quote from Drake where it's like, you got to really look around and be like, we created this.
We're trying to get sponsored. Jersey, though, we want to.
It's becoming a theme now. Like, we need that OVO. If we get OVO X some inspirational, like the little Sigma logo.
Every episode could be something that you say, we keep calling. But it was just like I felt like every leader contributed something towards that culture where we built it together. And on the last day, we went to the Natobi Gardens at UBC, and just that calmness, getting to see them and talk together, and everyone was reflecting. And even like actually it was the first day where I said, hey guys, we're doing checkout. And I was like, let's just do a question. And Mugisha actually put up her hand, one of the other OLs, and I'm not sure if we should be saying names like this and everything, but
without consent. Yeah, but I go with you.
We can
I think for good things, it's not a
please, because I gotta shout her out.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
And she said like, hey, like I got a question, and she's like, what's the oddest thing that you've seen today or something like that? And the whole room started talking, and it was just such a nice way to end the day, and everyone was laughing. And I think that really carried on, like that sort of like thing of like, hey, we can create the questions. It doesn't always have to be him. And so last day we went into Toby, and then we did Big Win, and we're just laughing the whole way. And at the end, we did like a whole dance thing with all the other senior OLs. And I think even within the senior OL group,
there was a
culture. Like right now, telling him like, man, like they're still hanging out together. They're doing like bouldering. They're doing like rock climbing. It's been months. And so I think that's really just like the culture that we instilled within our room for each other, that then extended to how we trained our leaders, that then extended to how they trained these future leaders, because that's really what they are. And to seeing the way that they moved around campus, very excited. And we've just been saying, like, this jumpstart year has been amazing. Like, is it us? Is it the students? Is it like what's going on? Like, why has it been so good? And so I think that like genuinely inspired me. Where
I think I know what it is though. I think you're saying, is it us? It's the culture.
It's a
I got you, bro. Always.
It's a culture that we're able to, and I think I don't even want to say create, but I want to say enable. Because I think
talk about that. Enable.
Because I think culture already exists and people already have these great things within them. We just have to give them a space, provide a space where they can then create, they can then let that
flow out of them.
Yeah. And so just being a senior jumpstart orientation leader, like, guys, if you're watching, if you're at UBC, apply. I don't think you have to be an OL or anything first to do that. But if you have imagining experience, or even if you just want to be able to instill a culture for the future leaders of UBC, it's such a great opportunity, because I didn't even do it for that, but just witnessing how my students were, and then seeing how the other like students, how they were. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting, because they all seem to kind of give their OL. And I can't lie, mine were just the most, not wild, but like mine were just the most, let's just do something like smart. Like, and then people were like, they give you, like, they give me.
It's like, yeah, you created that. And I feel like it's interesting because I think even as you were talking, you're like, my kids, my students. And when I heard that, I thought about, you know, when you're in school and like your teacher's like, my kids. And it's like, why I'm not yours. But it's like, I get, now that you say that, I'm connecting the dots and I'm understanding why these people in like more senior positions relative to who they're serving say my kids, my students. As a coach, they'd be like, my boys, right? It's like, they almost ascribe you as a status of like their son, and they claim you. And it's not in a sense of claiming you as like they want ownership over you, but they claim you in the sense that there's something that they want to depart on you, or they want to leave with you when you end up moving to your next chapter of life, right? And I think it's important to understand that in these spaces where cultures are created and cultures are enabled, let's say, because I think, like you said, it already exists, right? I think it's important to understand the nuances of different cultures and how much it means to that person who's leading the culture being enabled. Like, the way you're talking about it, the light that comes in your eyes, you really, and even when you see a student talking about, or a teacher talking about their students, the light that comes to the joy that comes to their eyes, or a coach talking about their team. And it's the ones who have the cultures that really have that sparkle in their eyes when they talk about those they're serving. And I feel like you always talk to me about Nick Saban and the Alabama culture. And I think you might as well just bring it up right now, because
and so like, I'm like, I'll say two quick things, and the other one will be like the Nick Saban one. But the first one is, I realized that in high school, we had that within my physics course.
Yeah.
So my teacher, shout out to Mr. Pernarowski. Wow. He should have been teaching in a more like elite school. He could have went private school and all of that. And he said, I really wanted to be here. And I feel like at first I didn't really understand that, but seeing the enthusiasm, he said that someone else could do his job at a different school, but he wanted to come here. And seeing the way that we'd show up every single day, very excited to learn, whether it was for math, and the fact that we were able to create almost like a very scholarly culture there. We grab lunch, or sometimes lunch, like a little bit dinner, like early dinner. Every winter I go back home to Winnipeg, and just hearing what they say about like, hey, like, guess how many students have enrolled in my calc course that we were struggling to in my like final year in grade 12 get students for. And he's just like, a ton, like just like the numbers. He's like, guess how many have enrolled in pre-calc, guess how many have enrolled in physics. And these are things that generally didn't used to get a lot of students before. All of a sudden after our year. And I'm not saying it was me, but I think it was a contribution, because all of us are unique individuals that bring something to the table. And it was a mix of myself and other students and other like I can really say names. We had like really big personality people that we came together and we said, we want to take this course. Let's convince the others. Let's talk to the others. And we were able to get a few other people in it. But it's like just how much fun we had in that class. It didn't really feel like a class. It was like later in the day, we'd do like math, and we talk about like the what's it called? It's the something man problem. The
straw man?
Not the straw man. The salesman problem. We worked on that. We worked on like finding the shortest algorithm, like pathways and things. It was just like so much just like math that I think that's like, I'm not even, I wouldn't even say I'm great in math, or at least I used to kind of back in the day, But like, I think what's kept me sort of skin in the game, despite not being like, hey, I'm solving like unique research problems every single day, is just my interest and love from it. And that love stemmed from the culture that we're able to build within the classroom. And back to Nick Saban, like, I think this is something at university I started integrating a lot more, is at Alabama, they have a winning culture. And the reason they have a winning culture is because he says, every player, I want you to worry about yourself. Don't worry about what he's doing. Don't worry about what he's doing. If you can play a perfect game, if you can do what you need to do on the field, and if all of us do what we need to do on the field, then we'll win. And roll tide, roll.
Roll tide, roll. They so tough. I promise.
Guys, like in another life, I'm football team, like
right, like Odell, like tight, all
so,
that.
But it was just like, that was like, when I heard that, I was like, wow. And I think that's when I started focusing on, like, I think on campus, I have a role to play as a student. If I can go 100% and do things that I love to do in ways that I think I do them best, then I think I'm enabling a culture where other people, which ties back into the reason why we even have this, where other people can feel free to do what they want to do, can feel comfortable doing what they want to do. And if all of us play our roles as students and just perform to the best, like, this is why we have alumni networks. Because they're doing their best. They get into these successful places, and now people are willing to take a risk on us because of the leverage that they've been able to create. And so I think that's really what culture means, and that ties it to, like, I guess another time we saw it most apparent, I think this was like when we're like, we have to talk about this, was at Meadows' party.
Before you get into it, because this is going to be a crazy part where you get into that, I just wanted to add from, like, and bounce off what you were saying and from what I heard you say, because now that we're talking about sports, before we go into our friend Meadows,
because we love sports.
We're huge basketball fans,
volleyball,
football, like all of that, playing,
track,
watching, it's
rugby,
swimming, right? But
I was A1 since day one.
Come on, bro. You believe that? Believe that? Come on, bro. Believe that. But for me, when I heard you talking about team dinner, I thought about an NBA team, the San Antonio Spurs, because their culture is so familial. It's literally like brothers and sisters, and what they've been able to create and what they've been able to enable in their team was like that culture where no one's left behind. And when I heard you talk about Mr. Prenarowski and how you keep going back even after you're retired, it made me think about the Spurs, where it's like, you see their franchise, out of all the NBA franchises, they're guys like Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker. They're so integrated. I remember their new guy, Wembanyama, he was always, as a rookie, connecting with Tim Duncan. They were taking out the team dinner. It's like they've created such a the respect they have for him. It's like the respect they have for their alumni, which is really their alumni, right? For Pop, who really started that culture. But I would say everyone in that team played their role, and the way they went and got players who are foreign later in the draft, Manu, Tony, and it's like they have a culture where family matters first, and that's why they're successful. You see how they move the ball movement, like it's not about me, it's about us, right? And that's the culture they created. So when they look back, come on, Ubuntu, right?
And because we are.
Oh my. The way we're connecting this episode is insane, right? But I feel like it was that culture that was made in San Antonio that carries on year after year after year, and it's created such a strong culture that it's recognized throughout the NBA. The beautiful game, that's a term from soccer, right? Or football for y'all, right? But like it transferred to basketball through the Spurs because of that culture that they had. So I just had to add that in before we move on to
I love
such
that.
a big
and I
concept.
feel like we can even talk about like culture extends beyond. Like if we're talking even just basketball, look at the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma Thunderbirds. I said Thunderbirds.
UBC, like sponsor us.
But so Oklahoma Thunder, and we just see like even back the day when like they had Westbrook, they had KD, they had Harden. It was just like they were playing a beautiful game, and they had a culture then. And people were talking about, like new team, like is it the same one? And it's like, why does it have to be the same one?
Yeah.
They can have two different winning cultures, and you can see like they recently won the championship, and just seeing like. But shout out to the Indiana Pacers because no one thought they would make it. But they were persistent. Their team culture was move the ball, have fun with it. You'd always clutch. Like how your team culture clutch,
right? Like
team cultures were clutch. Like
everyone making like it just felt like fourth quarter hit. Pacers start turning up. I remember this guy called me one time. It was a game against OKC in the finals. It's like, bro, they were up like 30. This guy calls me like, it's a 2-point game. I'm like, what? It's a 2-point game. And places are up, by the way. And it was like, how do you create a culture of being clutch? Like, that's nuts to me.
And I think like this is why culture is so important. But now we can talk about Meadow.
Yeah.
And Meadow, we have so much love for you. I think I've been talking about you even before. Like I feel like there's so much admiration because we're in the same math class. And just seeing like the way she always like, it's been so long since I found someone else who can match me for hand raised. I'd be in class, sometimes I'd just say numbers and I'd get it wrong, but it's like I could learn from that. And I feel like, guys, take advantage. You're paying for these classes.
Come on.
You're learning in live. Like you would hope, because here's the thing, if you're not understanding it and then you wait till afterwards, that's additional time. I'm trying to understand it live so I can keep up with the lesson. And so I'm really always raising up my hand. If I get it right, I understand. If I get it wrong, can you explain why I get it wrong? So I almost feel like me and the teacher, me and the prof, we're really having like an intimate relationship here where they're helping me understand. And it's like, you guys pay for this too, but I feel like that's almost me doing my most as a student, where I'm trying to leverage everything and use every resource and really propel myself forward. And so that's almost a culture in of itself. And I want that to be like a very defining UBC culture while I'm still around, and hopefully afterwards when I'm gone. But Meadow, so just matching it, and afterwards she's very cool, very chill. I'm glazing a little too much, but so Meadow, we met math class and everything. We kept in touch. We ran into each other again after not speaking for a while. We were really good friends and everything like that. And she invited us to a house party. She got a house party, but it was really just like a gathering of ideas and friendships and relationships and everything that makes people feel good. But the night before, we had another friend who I met during senior orientation training, who invited us to her kind of like, she's like, it's a little house party with a friend I know. And I can't lie, that one was cool. It was lights dim.
It was.
We pull up.
Playing darts.
Guys, I love darts. Like I've been a dart fiend this last year. But like the vibes are really good, very chill. It felt more like, I said, like a high school party. I've never been to a high school party, but if I felt like that was what it would be, everyone was kind of like moving around, like laughing, you know, having a good time.
Yes, like you said, dim lights and music playing.
They had a treehouse in the back.
Like we climbed up the treehouse. People were falling down. Like drinks were going. People that are drinking were drinking. It was like, it really felt like more of a party when you say party. But then when we got to Meadow's place, we started contrasting. Like, what is this difference? Like, how does it feel so much different when it's like, we had both our house parties, right? Yeah. Even the way they call it, it's a house party, right? Yes. It's like, we're going to a house party. Okay, we're down, right? Of course. But how is it so different? Like, how is it literally, like the nuance was so different? I think we got into talking about the concept of why and how, place, people.
And even before that, I feel like we can talk, like the vibe at the first place is very chill, whatnot, high school vibes. Yeah. But even at the end, like they were like telling me like, so I was trying to like see if I could touch the top of the tree.
Yes, yeah.
They told me, yo, climb in. And we were talking, and there's this other brother that we met, man.
Yeah, Joshua, man.
It was Jordan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Joshua with the tweets.
Joshua with the shout out Joshua with the tweets.
But Jordan, yeah, okay.
Well, so Josh is the brother now? He might be. So Josh with the tweets, and honestly, like when I was doing it, Jordan and I looked, and I was just like, man, like the high risk, low reward. Yes. Like, let's not really do it.
Yeah.
And then Josh looks at me, he goes, hey, brother, man to man, I've got you. Hand out, strong guy.
Yeah. Pulled you up.
I'm not going to let you drop. And something in me, I just said, bro, like, I don't care if it's a low reward. Like, there really wasn't, it was just me climbing the treehouse from like the bottom. But like, someone has a video of it somewhere too. But I jumped up, glad them, and everyone's chanting. People started helping me from the bottom, like raising up my foot. And I got it. Somehow I got in. And I think that was such a beautiful moment that I think defined the night of like what that party was like. Like I felt like I could almost do anything. Yeah. It was just crazy, but it was just like, it felt like kind of risky, but you're doing it risky because you want to have fun. It's almost like, I think they mentioned like in 2006 or 2014, 2013, like there's this dirty, like they call it like dirty teabag or like teabags sorting going on where you go to a party, get blackout drunk, like everyone's posting, like the vibes are like very old and everything like that. And I've never gone drunk because I don't drink. But it's just like seeing those pics, it almost felt like that, where it's like music playing. Everyone's just like, we're all trying to live life just in the moment. We said we're living life today. If we die tomorrow, today's what we remember. Meadows party. We're building the future. there was no dying today because you had work tomorrow.
Oh.
And everyone in it was like Salah, the twins were there. Shout out to them, man. They're asleep right now.
Yeah.
He laughing right now, man. No, but it's just like that like it felt more like a networking thing, but it really wasn't because people, and we talked about like the location.
Yes.
So house was huge. People would walk from the living room to the kitchen to the backyard,
Yes.
which was also big. So there are really just people everywhere. And for the other party, it felt like we're all more congested in one location.
Yes.
Where we're all trying to be together.
Yes.
And so the other one also felt a bit like not the Meadows, but the other one where we just didn't know people.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like people were meeting each other too for the first time.
Yeah.
But it felt more like, I haven't seen you in so long.
Yes.
And the other one, it was like people were in the same program with
Meadows, yeah.
In the same program so they can talk and whatnot. But it was like they're still building their relationships.
Yeah.
And I was introducing myself to everyone because it just felt very cool and everything like that, you know? And I felt like since I knew Meadow, people were like, how do you know, like, what brings you here? I'm like, I know Meadow. And so that was a difference than being at the other party where it's like I didn't really know the host.
Yes.
I was the guest. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think
you can almost talk about like being a guest.
And I feel like, as a guest, like I was a +1 that he brought. And I feel like it was hard for me to really get into, because it really felt like a networking type of thing where it's like I'm meeting people. This guy started saying bye to people as we were leaving. I was like, is that really my place to say that? I kind of came as a +1. It just felt like things were more calculated. And that's not a bad thing. It's more to say that like it was a different culture that was being created there. And I feel like you run back a party like that and the type of connections you can make are lifelong, right? And I think that was deliberate from Meta. I think she brought people together who, even though she's a connector, like we talked about in one of our last episodes, but she's a connector. And I think it was deliberate in bringing people in architecture, in different programs that are rigorous and things like that. And knowing that even bringing a +1 was going to be someone else who's in one of these programs. So it's like, it was very deliberate. And maybe she won't say it. I think she knows it was. And I think creating that culture where it's like, even within that room, even for that day, a culture was created, a culture was enabled, right? And I think even in the other place where it's like cultures become enabled, even when you don't know they're becoming enabled. It's just that when they're deliberate, you can create or you can enable what you want to see.
You get to decide.
Exactly.
You set the vision and the stage for what that culture will be. Yeah. And I think that's the strongest thing, because now you're in control. And there are other times where cultures develop naturally, and it's a very beautiful thing as well. But it's almost like when you're intentional, you can really set the standard for anything and everything. And I think more winning cultures are like deliberate. Because you want to be very precise and exact about what's going on. And I think some other cultures are created naturally, which is beautiful as well. But it's almost like they fall a little bit apart more easily, because then when like culture can shift when not everyone has the same culture. And so I think with Meadows party, it was very like deliberate, and the people there were great. We talked to a few. We had like, it was just such a beautiful moment.
It really was. It was amazing.
We're taking like pictures on like the
on the Digicam,
stuff like that.
It was really beautiful, and I think like
we pray for times like
we
this.
We really did pray for times like this. And we actually did though. And we're thinking back like, oh, that's summer, and it's like the start. We were really thinking like we're gonna be in Vancouver together, enjoying all the fruits of our labor. And it's like in that situation we really were, and it was a party or it was a gathering where we really had time to think, whereas the other one, it was like things were so spontaneous, everything's happening. This guy's getting carried like by one arm. It's like he didn't plan for that to happen that night, but it happened because like the culture was spontaneity, even though we didn't know it. But in the second one, it's like we're making connections. What do you study? Hope to see you at Imagine Day. All these types of things where it's like future focused, right? And that was deliberate. And I think it's time to talk about really what culture we want to create on this podcast, on Something Inspirational, because I think being intentional is how we're going to create and how we're going to enable it.
I think we mentioned it already.
Yeah.
We said some of the few, but I think some other ones. And y'all can talk about what culture, because even though we're talking, y'all are here with us. So in the comments, talk about what you want this to be.
What the culture wants to look like,
And we'll generally like make efforts, because we want to be inspiring, but we also want to like create inspiration in the best way possible. And so if you guys have a different vision for what that might be, then we'll adapt. You have to be adaptable too. That might be another. But so I think for ours, like the culture we're trying to create here is being adaptable, being intentional, being inspirational, and being inspired, because we get inspired by the life around us. Like moments like these, whether I'm being a senior orientation leader or whether I'm chilling in Meadows, like place, it's just like moments like, I can't lie, we shout out Son as well.
Yeah.
We're doing this one game and he was just clutch, but it's like even that's the culture.
That's
where,
the
like, we're
culture.
having
Yeah, we're
fun.
having fun, but like
It's a
everything's like we're learning about each other.
Yes,
And
yes,
it was
yes.
just but I think the culture here at Something Inspirational is, and it's having an experience.
Should we say one word?
One word, try to say it together?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, Ubuntu.
Oh, wait,
come on, you okay, come on. We got it, because episode about to, okay, we trolling. We trolling. Come on, man. Episode about to end off. We got
okay, so Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
And that just being like,
we explain what that is. So like I feel like y'all should know. Leave in the comments. And don't go back in the video. Don't go back. I know y'all will
don't cheat.
Don't cheat. What does Ubuntu mean? All right. What does Ubuntu mean?
What's Ubuntu mean to you? And even though it has a definition, what do you want it to mean?
Yes.
Within this experience that we're creating.
But I'm trying to also quiz them. What did I say it means? What is that word for word? What did I say it translates to? I gotta know y'all were watching. All right.
All right. But no, thank you guys so much for staying with us.
Wow, that felt fast.
Like it felt fast, and I genuinely can't believe like time is just passing by
like this.
It's almost like sometimes we talk about the future in the past, which is crazy. But it's almost like that's what this is meant to be like.
Talk about the future in the past.
Experiences transcend time. Memories transcend place. Belief transcends faith. You know, like the people we are, the people we want to be transcend. I can spell it for y'all, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. But transcend. do it life itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like we're talking before, like the sky's in the limit, the stars are in the limit. The limit you almost cannot even see.
You don't even know it.
Because you are so much more than you can even imagine. And so I think that's where we want to end off today, about like how do you create that culture within yourself where you're pushing yourselves to different heights unimaginable, and whether you're staying where you want to be, because I think that's a culture in of itself. But we hope the culture that we're creating here with you guys will be one where we can all smile and look at and feel together. And that's something inspirational for today. And I guess I want to finish this one, since we're really finishing this one on a different level. But in case I don't see you, in case we don't see you, good morning, good evening, good night.